Hello, this is Billy Core from the Nostalgia Mall, and today we're going to be taking a look at, well, a computer that's probably not going to be too popular. I know it's not very popular for me. This is the eMachines eTower 266, and this was given to me by my friend and fellow YouTuber LGR. And I don't know what's on here, if anything. Actually, I do. There's nothing because there's no hard drive in there, but we will be fixing that later. Okay, here are the specs of it, and don't laugh too hard. This was a budget computer. It has a 266 megahertz via Cyrix M2 with MMX technology. This is my first desktop I've ever had with a Cyrix chip in it, so this ought to be interesting. 32 megs of RAM standard. That's very, very low. In fact, my eMachine I had in 2000 only had 32 megs of RAM, and it was just horrendously slow because of that. And it only came with a 2 gig hard drive. And keep in mind, this came out, I believe, in January of 1999. So most computers were coming with 6, 8, 10 gig drives in. This, you just got a measly 2 gig. But unfortunately, that hard drive is no longer in there, so we'll be adding a solid-state solution. And what's interesting about this is probably the first computer eMachines ever made, or perhaps one of the first, but it's definitely pretty close. So, yeah, this is about as old as you can get when you go with an eMachines. Okay, we'll flip it around. We'll take a look at the ports. Got 2 PS2 mouse and serial, 1 USB 1.1, serial, parallel, VGA out. We got sound, and I think it does support DOS. And for some reason, we've got 2 dial-up modems in here. Both of them are going to get removed and replaced with one single Ethernet card, so let's go ahead and open it. Right now there's only one thumb screw keeping the lid on. Okay, got the cover off. And here's the inside. Let's take a closer look. Right there is where the hard drive would have been. Our measly little 2 gig drive. There's our Cyrix CPU. I'm guessing this is a socket 7, maybe? Super socket 7. And I'm not sure if that's the original RAM in there. The 32 gig stick. 32 gigs, yeah, right. 32 meg stick. And it looks like it has ATI 3D video on there, so hey, at least they were kind enough to give you that. And there's our 2 modems for some reason. And all the drives are unplugged for some reason. This CD-ROM drive up here is missing part of the bezel there, so I will be replacing this CD drive, but not today probably. So let me just get these cables hooked up. Okay, got the CD-ROM and floppy drive hooked back up. Here is what I presume to be the original modem. Probably some kind of WIN modem, I would have to imagine. Nothing special. And a really nice 3-com modem. And I'm not sure if this was original or not. This could actually be a network card. So I think there might have been a network card in here to begin with. Let me test it out on a Ethernet cable. Nope, it's a modem, just as I thought. So we will be adding a network card into here, along with a solid-state storage solution. We don't want to have 2 gigs on here, so we're going to go with 8 gigs. That's still a reasonable amount, nothing too over the top. Put the IDE up. And Molex. don't even know if this computer works or not, to be honest with you. Okay. Get this screwed in here. Alright, got it in. Now our network card is on the other side of the room. Standard issue Netgear. I hope this IDE card's not in the way. I thought we were good, but maybe not. Okay, got it in there. Had to finagle it a little bit. Don't you just love that word finagle? Finagle, whatever. Okay, and the CMOS battery is probably dead, so I'll put this Energizer in its place. Yeah, it looks like the original battery. There we go. Alright, I think we're about ready to give it a boot up. Okay, I got everything hooked up except for power, because I don't know if it will turn on automatically when I plug it in. Let's hope we don't get 6-foot flames shooting out of the power supply, because these eMachines power supplies are not known for their reliability. Here we go. Okay, didn't turn on. Automatically, that is. Let's hit the power button. Well, it's coming to life, I think. That fan sounds awful, though. I don't know if it's the power supply fan or the CPU fan. Okay, I don't think it's outputting anything. Nothing from the keyboard. Not a good start. There we go. Now we're working. Alright, CMOS checksum bad. That's to be expected. We did change the clock battery. Boy, I tell you, that CPU fan is something else. Or at least I think it's the CPU fan. Alright. Oh, it's got that GUI BIOS that was around back then. Usually don't see this on newer ones like this. So let's take a look at it. Keyboard and mouse are working fine. Got a 1998 copyright on the BIOS. So we do want legacy support. I really might need it. Date and time. It is not January 1st, 1998. I do remember that day though. Okay, it is July the 23rd of 2024. And the time, 1:59 p.m. We'll just go with, let's go ahead and round it over to 2 o'clock. Okay, it saved it. Everything's looking okay. And the onboard sound is a crystal chip, so hey, at least I gave you a pretty decent sound on here, despite everything else. Not seeing a RAM amount. Of course, that could have been shown earlier in the thing. Okay, I would like to change that to floppy CD-ROM hard drive. Not planning on putting OS2 on here. Yeah, it doesn't say how much RAM. But now I need to find a blank CD and record the restore disk for this. Kind of rhymed a little bit. Okay, restore CD has been created. Now we'll get to see if this CD-ROM drive works, despite the broken bezel. I don't think it's supposed to make that noise. Oh yeah. Well, I wasn't going to replace it today, but I'm afraid I have no other choice. Okay, new drive installed, this time a CDRW, which would have been very high-end for this system at the time. Coincidentally, my first experience burning CDs was on an eMachine, but with a USB drive. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Right, let's boot it back up. I do know this is a working CD drive. Unlike that last one. The last one, by the way, was a Samsung, and I believe those are known to have that kind of failure. I guess there's nothing to be really surprised at. Alright, it's booting. We will format. This is Windows 98 First Edition. So this will be upgraded to Second Edition because you know the rule. First Edition is not allowed in this home. Oh, I only did the 2 gigs. So I guess I can always expand it with a Cronus OS selector later. Alright, it's going to do some inflating. And this is the part that usually takes the longest, so we'll see how it is on the other side. Alright, restoration is complete. We'll do as it says and remove the CD. Press the any key. First boot jitters. Oh. That's not a good sign. I'm wondering if we've got some bad RAM. Alright, we are booting now. I was able to fix the issue. It was not the memory. I did do a mem test on it. It checked out, and I can also confirm by doing that the floppy drive works. Okay, I guess this is normal. the issue was it was the craziest thing. You see, the SD card I was using in a previous system for Windows 3.1, and I had a 2 gig partition and then like a 5 something gig partition extended. And when I did the restore earlier, it didn't redo all that. That's why it was only showing a 2 gig partition when we were formatting earlier. So I took care of that, ran fdisk, made one big 8 gig partition, restored it again, and here we are. And it wants us to take a quick lesson on using the mouse. Very Packard Bell-esque. Yes, we want to exit. Alright, regional settings. We are in the United States. This is a United States keyboard. Alright, put in my user information and the product key. Probably picking up the monitor. It's detecting the network card. We'll worry about that later. I'm in Eastern time zone. Do not have a printer. Windows 98 drum. I love those drums. We should have sound too. I think I've got it hooked up in the right spot and on the right input on the switcher. Okay, I guess we didn't. Oh, we did. I can just barely hear it. All right. Yep, typical eMachines. We get the Musica sound scheme. Okay, so what do we have on here? We got Adobe Reader 3.01, ATI Player, must be an MPEG player, Internet Explorer, Microsoft Works, presumably 4.5, Netcom Net Complete, not sure what that is, and a very Packard Bell-esque audio station. I remember my eMachine had this as well. And games are standard fare. Well, it seems to be working. Now I just need to upgrade it to 2nd edition. Okay, it's actually the next day, and I need to go ahead and wrap this video up because I have a major upgrade to do to my main computer with the SSD. So being able to edit videos might be a little hard for about a day or two, so I want to go ahead and get this finished. But I've got the eMachines eTower 266 set up for the most part. I've updated it to 98 SE. We'll go ahead and turn it on. There we go. Let it boot up. Have not installed Plus on here yet. Another thing I did, I forgot to mention, is I upgraded the RAM. I stuck a 32 meg stick in there in the 2nd slot. Now we have 96 megabytes. No, I put a 64 meg stick in the 2nd slot. My bad. Love that Musica sound scheme these eMachines come with. Now, one thing I discovered about this computer that kind of redeems it in a way, because it's something I always care very much about. The onboard audio has near perfect ad-lib emulation in DOS. Let me demonstrate that. If I can go to the right folder. Let's go to my standard benchmark Skyroads Christmas Special. Not perfect, but it sounds pretty close. So yeah, if anything, this computer would make a great little DOS gaming rig. Has the perfect amount of power, I would say. Whoa, it got a little loud. We'll run DXDiag. Our Cyrix processor there again. Display. We've only got a measly 4 megs of video memory. That shouldn't be much of a surprise here, but at least it's Direct 3D capable, as far as I know. So since this is a computer from LGR, we ought to try out one of his favorite games on this computer. Game I happen to have in the box, Pod. And it's designed for the Intel MMX technology and for Windows 95. This is a game I did not own as a child. I got it later on in life. Okay, this box is actually empty. I didn't realize that. I don't know if I've ever opened it up in the years I've owned it. But I do have a backup CD somewhere. Let me go grab that. My apologies, the game just started playing automatically after I rebooted. But this is Pod Gold. I think it's enhanced for Direct 3D, so that's going to be convenient. Do a single race. Looks good to me. Again, looks good to me. Just keep it nice and simple. Shame I didn't have this game growing up. I think it flew under my radar. Kind of gives me F-Zero vibes from Super Nintendo. Running really good on here. Of course, this game doesn't require too much horsepower. And it's designed for Intel MMX, not Cyrix, but it's still working fine. And my skill in this game, that's another story. So I think what I have to say about these eMachines is that they're okay computers. If you find one cheap and need a cheap 90s gaming PC, go right ahead and get it. It's just, they're kind of boring. It's just nothing exciting about them at all. They're just very generic computers, which is, I guess, what they're meant to be. Except for one eMachine that we may be taking a look at soon. That one is a bit more unique. That's all I'll say about it. Alright, time for the traditional canyon test. A little bigger. Okay, so your basic FM synth, and it sounds really good, by the way. So I guess that's all there is to show. Well, let's take a quick look at the user's guide. Introduction to your eMachine. There's a diagram of it. I forgot it has the game port and USB port on the front. So yeah, it looks pretty accurate. Turning on the computer for the first time. Well, I kind of want to have a date first. In case you don't know how to use the CD-ROM drive, special keys on the keyboard. I don't have an eMachines keyboard anymore, but oh well. Anyway, I guess that's all there is to show today. Hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, this is Billy Core signing off. Thank you for visiting the Nostalgia Mall. If you like what you saw, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Facebook and X. You may also support me on Patreon if you'd like. Until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off.